Welcome everyone in another episode of the Daily DevRel Roast series. We are back and today I'm super excited. This will be a very special episode. We will soon know why. I would like to say hi everyone. Aria is already in the chat. Other people will join soon. How are you? How is everyone? Today in Italy is really hot. Probably there are some places where are hotter, but I'm sweating. I'm sweating just for doing, and then not just about the the questions that we might have. So this might be a very hot episode. Sound check. Is everyone there? How are you? How is everyone?
Yes, but before we start, I want to say happy birthday to Francesco.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Francesco is celebrating. You don't know it. He doesn't know it yet, but he's celebrating 20-year-old birthday with 22 years of experience.
Wow, impressive!
Second 20th birthday.
Yeah, exactly. I also discovered that I have the same age and the same day and year as Chris Hemsworth, the actor of the Police Thor. So we're basically twins. Okay,
Yeah.
basically.
You're basically
We might actually be twins. Yes.
Maybe.
Nice. That was a nice, let's say, unplanned thing. Thank you so much, Nimrod. Okay, nice. So I think that now we can start. I'm really excited, and just to give you some context, if you're in the chat, by the way, say hi, say ciao, hola, whatever is your language, and tell me where you are from. Okay, perfect. What's going on? How are you? How's it going? The code night. This series is to talk about DevRel, but we don't want to make it, let's say, boring with just everyone agreeing or just with because in DevRel there are always the same questions and topics. We try to have a series where we try to give some unpopular opinion. Try to be as transparent as possible. To be honest, we usually have guests who are super transparent. They are really down to earth. So, and today it will be a very special episode because by chance, both of the developer advocates that I met in person, both of them, yes, they come from the same company. So today we actually also talk about the interactions, if they agree, if they fight. So welcome everyone, and yes, perfect, nice. So okay, so thank you so much, and let's start with the introduction. I will start with Rizèl. Rizèl, welcome. I see that you are back again, and you are active on podcast. Super happy to have you on board. Looking forward to meet you soon. So please introduce yourself and welcome again in this DevRel Roast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited. I hope it's spicy. When you first invited me, I thought me and Ace were going to be roasting each other. Like, your blog posts are so bad. I don't know. But anyways, my name is Rizèl, and I'm a tech lead of open source DevRel at Block. Right now, I'm primarily focused on an AI agent that we've built, an open source AI agent called Goose. Outside of that, I'm a new mom. So when Francesco said you're back, that's where I'm back from. And that's it for me. I work with Ace. I don't think we argue. I don't know what Ace thinks, but yeah, that's it.
There's always first time.
Yes.
We're going to argue about arguing right now. Oh yeah, hello everyone. My name is Adewale. A lot of people call me Ace as well. I'm a staff developer advocate at Block. Most recently, I kind of like changed roles a little bit. I used to work also on the same team with Rizèl, but now I'm more focused on like applied AI internally across Block. Once in a while, I do dabble into like the open source side of things, and also Rizèl once in a while also dabbles into the internal kind of thing. So it's like a support system that we've kind of like developed, which is amazing. Kind of like helps us get stuff done with some sense of reliability as well. Surprisingly, we don't argue a lot. Or maybe we do like I think we share opinions on things, but I don't think it ever gets into like an argument. But which kind of is expected to happen when you're working with like brilliant people. Everyone has like interesting insights, and you recognize that. So we'll see if we'll probably argue today on this DevRel roast. But yeah, I live in Amsterdam. It's incredibly hot right now, which is why I'm also wearing like this loose shirt. But yeah, nice to be here. Thank you for having me, Francesco and Nimrod.
Yes, I'm super excited. And before I let Nimrod introduce himself again, I tried Goose when I went to Berlin. So the Angie Jones herself invited me to try it out. So I tested out. I might also give my obviously give honest feedback and reviews. I think we might also mention this later. But also I have Angie maybe another day. And that's it. But we will talk also about this maybe later. And now, of course, the man himself, Nimrod. How are you? How is it going? And are you ready for this episode?
I was born ready. But no, thank you for having me, and I hope this episode is going to be a one to remember. As Francesco said, we're here to kind of like get some hot takes. So maybe the first question is like, what spicy level do you want me to start with from 1 to 5?
5.
Five. All right,
Yes.
we're going with
Well, I don't
5.
know if Ace is okay with that, but spicy, yes.
Yeah.
All right, we
Yes.
start with 5. Little do you know that the scale goes up to 10, but just kidding. But we're gonna
Even the
start.
audience wants 5, so let's go.
Yeah, so in brief, I mean, I'm probably the least interesting person here. I'm co-founder and CEO of a platform called daily.dev. We're a professional network for developers. It's a free product. We help over 1 million developers stay up to date on everything that's happening in tech, discovering new tools, discovering new opportunities. You know, I'm biased. I think it's really an awesome platform, both for engineers who just want to stay on top of their game, but also for community managers and DevRels who want to grow their presence and get their company and products that they advocate for in front of developers in an environment that is native and was designed for developer engagement and that has the developer trust already in place. But yeah, this is more or less it. So Francesco, do you want to start with a question or should I start?
Whatever, I can start, and maybe then you can keep your super spicy question, or if you have your 5-level spice question, I think you should drop it. So
all right, I'll drop it. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start with a spicy question, which is, what is one sacred DevRel belief that you think is completely bullshit?
Interested.
I have one.
Okay.
A lot of them are always like, we're not marketing, we're not sales. I think we are marketing and sales. We just do it in a different way because developers don't like the traditional type of marketing and sales. So our job doesn't look like how marketing and sales people does. Like, we still code a lot, like especially on our team, we're all very technical. But at the end of the day, we are kind of like influencers in a way. It helps our job, and developers low-key will follow or build a community around us. That's my spicy take. I don't know if it was
very spicy and very different from everything we've heard so far, right, Francesco?
Yes, and to be honest, I would say usually I will disagree, but I think that the way Rizèl phrased it, it actually makes sense. I still think that you can do your DevRel thing without doing marketing, but I always say this: if you are in a company when there is not a marketing team, you are the marketing. So in that case, there is no way out. So, but I think that they are two separate roles. So if we can have a fight, Rizèl, I think they overlap. In some companies, they overlap more. In some companies, they overlap less, and they should overlap less. But I mean, if you don't have, it's like, having a front-end developer and back-end developer. If you don't have it, you have one person who does all the job. So it's more like an issue. Maybe a company should hire actually a team. So if you want to go to spicy takes, that's my take.
Yeah, I say, like, my one response, and then you guys can move on, I guess, is like, I don't think we do the same job as marketing. We do have a marketing team, but I think our role still is a type of marketing. That's what I mean. And our team is in the engineering org. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. But yeah.
I guess in the spirit of spicy takes, that might not be entirely true, but you can swing that way. I think I don't always like it when people say you don't have to have developer experience or be technical to be a developer advocate. A lot of people say it. I mean, it's nice not to gatekeep, to welcome people, but why you can get into DevRel without like having technical background, it's gonna help you so much to have technical background. You're gonna be able to relate to developers. You're gonna be able to, what's the word? Have conversations, look for bugs, fix things, provide suggestions that you would not be able to if you were not a developer. So, I mean, there's still many things that outliers as well, but I think it's something that we need to do, or maybe reduce how much we say that, oh, you don't have to have any development experience to be a DevRel person, because it kind of in the background kind of also like dilutes the importance of developer relations, because people just think it's, oh, anyone can just get in there. I mean, like, I don't know if anyone has seen Ratatouille. Anyone can cook, anyone can do DevRel, but only those with empathy and experience can be great. So yeah, that's my spicy take. If it's spicy.
Yeah, I would say great start. Are you happy with the answer?
Yeah.
We're off to a great start. I can only imagine what we're going to have next.
You know what's the problem now is that we can't go back, so we can't go on like a basic question. So we need you to double down. And by the way, if you are in the chat, you can also drop some spicy questions. You might even take them from the audience. So since this will be a hot episode, but I think it's also like 35, 36 degrees Celsius here in Italy, so we are ready to make a very hot episode. And yes, so let's see. What do you think? Okay, so I will try to make another spicy one. What do you think makes a very bad DevRel, like the DevRel that maybe you don't even want to connect to, maybe even if they work for a company you like? There we go.
I would say there are two types that come to mind. The ones that actually salespeople. Because even personally, when I'm talking about Goose, I like Goose. I use Goose every single day. But even in some of my conversations, I find myself substituting Goose for like AI agents, because I know this applies to all AI agents, not just Goose. But when I see DevRel people that, what's it called, are just basically salespeople, this is what you need to use. This is what, like, oh, I am talking about this technology. This is the only way to do this. You might be promoting your company's product, but you're not actually like advocating for the developers. Essentially like saying this is how this is how you can think about this solution or this problem, or this is how you can tackle it. So the way I try to do that is I talk about what we are trying to do, whether it's with MCPs or blah, blah, blah. And I say, this is why I use Goose for this. If there's something else you want to use, there's something else that you, want to, could solve your problem, I can mention that that's also an option. But when people just, are just entirely salespeople, they also kind of lead to the second kind of people that I do not like. And those are those people that find it very difficult to connect to the audience you're speaking to, in the sense of you really do not care. You're probably just here for the job. You just want to make, because if you're in developer relations, you're supposed to like care and empathize and advocate for the people that are either using the project on both sides of the bridge. But when you clock in, you should be able to clock in, of course, and clock out whenever you want. But like without having that empathy to like, oh, this person is actually struggling with this, and to help this person to go out of my way a little bit here and there, then that kind of like just makes it, oh, I don't know if this person is doing DevRel or not, but yeah, that's spicy answer again.
All right, so now name the people that match this grade. No, just
no one comes to mind at the moment.
Not that spicy.
Not
That's
that
level
spicy.
9. That's level 9. That's level 9.
You're gonna get us canceled.
That's it. No, of course. Just kidding.
Oh my days.
Yeah, for me, I think a little bit similarly. The ones who I think are not great DevRel, they're not tapping into the community enough. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do within DevRel. There's coding, there's doing talks. It can be hard to balance all of it, but it's good to come up for air and see like, what is the community talking about? Whether you're attending a conference and listening to people, or you're jumping in your company's Discord, because you could be making content or solving problems that nobody really cared about solving. So the ones that I see that I'm like, oh, you're not really doing good, DevRel, is they're just in their own bubble and they don't realize what everybody else is hoping for.
Great. Thank you, Rizèl. Yeah, Nimrod, you have
But
to add something.
both of your points, it takes me, at least in my mind, a little bit to the whole ROI kind of like question around DevRel, right? Which has been discussed extensively, probably in almost every podcast. Like, how do you show that you're actually delivering value? What kind of metrics? We're probably going to talk about that as well, in some way or another. But we're trying to give the spicy angle of the ROI question. And what I'm curious the most is, like, what is the biggest lie DevRels say to the executive, like leadership of a company, in order to justify DevRel budgets? Of course, not lies that you said, lies that someone that your friends said, but like, what are the like most common lies to justify budgets and impact?
That is interesting. I haven't given any lie recently, so I nothing comes to mind. But I would say probably sometimes when you want to sponsor maybe an acquaintances conference, someone that you know, and you just want to sponsor their conference. And it's like, this would be a great place for us to go. The developers there, and that might not be entirely true, or the conversion rate might be low. So that's probably a lie that's not me, but some DevRel people might.
No, not talking.
You just dropped the sponsorship in the Slack. Now I'm thinking.
There is sorry, we might not actually cut this if you want, but in Latin we have a proverb which is excusatio non petita, accusatio manifesta, which means if you say like that you did nothing and nobody asked, this means you're guilty. Basically, I'm joking, of course. Yes, I would like to answer quickly to Nimrod. I'm also trying also to make some posts on LinkedIn. In the meanwhile, if you make a post about this event, please remember to tag us so we can reshare it. I think one of the lies is that everything is going well. So it's like, just saying that everything is fine, like in a toxic relationship, like everything is fine, and maybe it's not. So this is, I think, the developer advocate should say when things are not good, where there is a very bad feature that everyone is hyped about, or something that will not work that way. Sometimes I think they should also disagree with marketing. So it's, I don't know, like, this is never gonna work with developers. This is gonna like backslash, like even far back, like maybe when something is obvious that like people will just the developers will make fun of it or will find this very awkward. So these
but
are
you
my
never
things.
did that, of course. Like, you always say the truth.
Never,
Yeah.
I swear.
Only your friends.
I never lie, and I never lie. So that's the thing. Yes, so that's my point. Yes, I want to take this quick one by Moon Knight, and we also have someone from Jason Torres. By the way, hi everyone. I see we see some people here, and no, let's go with Jason first. I think we had one, this one. Why is DevRel one of the first roles to get axed layoff season? There we go. You're served.
I think because this is spicy. I don't know if people are gonna get mad at me. Okay, yes, DevRel is something that like is maybe not as important, but I think some teams aren't putting in the work where they need to be. They're not thinking about how does this make an impact to the entire company. They're just like, oh, I'm just gonna go on YouTube or go to all these conferences, but they're not bringing back to the company like how they're not telling the company how this even brought value, and they might not even be investing their time at the conference well. Like they might have just been like running around with their friends and stuff like that, which is fine, but like also bring back some value, do a talk, something, but don't just be traveling around the world. We're not YouTube content creators. We're actually doing a real job. That's why sometimes I think they get axed, because like especially like 2021 and 2022, that was like a fun time for DevRel, but it's serious work going on right now.
If I may add to that as well, I also think it could be one of the first when the values like are misaligned between the company's business goals and some of the projects that DevRel in that company is running. So for example, if the target audience is not entirely maybe consumer-based developer communities, or just the target audience isn't people that DevRel is targeting, then there's a misalignment there, right? So now the company is unable to actually tie back the impact of the activities, of the conferences, of the YouTube content, all of those things back to the things that is actually making a company run. Because at the end of the day, it's still a business, if you're being honest. In that regard, then you're not meeting the goals of the company. But I think as companies scale or also start to identify what their main business goals are, they also get to identify how DevRel is important to that. And in some of these situations, you'll find that DevRel will not be cut. So I think that happens when they are just unable to entirely align what DevRel is doing, what they want to do going forward. And that just kind of, acts.
Yeah, for me is that I think it's because when someone is writing the code, they are at the core of the company, and companies are like always like deploying features, so they're also, I think, they need also some time, to get replaced. I don't know if you have a backend developer or something like that. DevRel, maybe I think maybe the company, they want to change the strategy, or maybe the goals they change. The goals of the companies might change. Maybe they want to maybe do some more marketing. Maybe they want to do more engineer. Maybe they want to hire a different team. So this might be, so it's more like this. So it's not that it's just something more marginal. That I don't want to say less important, but I think it's harder to replace the backend engineer that is handling all the things or handling the pipeline or so on. I'm completely honest here. So it's a different kind of role. When you do different things, you might adapt, and yes. So that's my point of view. That's it. Perfect.
So let's switch gears, talk a little bit about tools and platforms, etc. Like which channel is most overrated for DevRels right now, and why is it probably Twitter?
Yeah, you have to out Twitter. Go ahead, Ace.
I was still thinking, to be honest. I think one of the channels that's probably underrated right now that I'm starting to see a lot more uptick in terms of engagement and collaborations is probably LinkedIn, which is surprising because it seems like it's making a comeback. But I do get to see a lot of like content, relevant content from people in the network, and just people talking about related work that I do more on LinkedIn. And Twitter is just, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like there's an elephant in the room in there. And even the engagement, or you trying to like speak with your network, or just have this people that you feel like, okay, if I share this thing, these are the people that are following me for this reason, they'll most likely see it. I don't think that guarantee is there anymore. So it just kind of makes it weird. And I think that's probably why Twitter is at the short end of the stick. But once in a while, it's very inconsistent. I think that's probably the issue. But for me, I would say LinkedIn is one that seems to be picking up steam. I'm seeing way more content on LinkedIn. I'm seeing people actually engage as well, even for maybe posts that might not do as well on Twitter. So that is one.
I think, and this is not a platform I use as a creator, but maybe as a viewer, I think TikTok is one that like people that's underrated. I think there's a lot of reach through TikTok. Yeah, I see people, they literally get like thousands and thousands of views, and it's like quick, short. You just hop on, record something really quickly, and get a little bit more exposure. And there's usually people on there that are like students or wanting to learn to code. So that's a good way. I agree with LinkedIn too. I've started to tap into LinkedIn more. I'm sad about Twitter. That used to be my go-to place. That's it.
Francesco, what's your take? I mean, you're definitely have very strong presence on multiple platforms, primarily probably Twitter and YouTube. What's your take on the recent kind of like platform changes in terms of social media?
Yes. So, of course, my perception is that most of the developers are still active on Twitter. If now it's not cool anymore, but I'm talking about like the numbers and reality. Some people left for real, but 99% of the people are still there. Maybe lurking a bit more, but they are still there. There are more alternatives. So it's like there are, even in the terms of text format. So usually there are two types of platforms. The platform when you create the content, like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The platform where you engage with the audience, like Twitter, LinkedIn, Threads, Blue Sky. That's it. So they are So this is the first difference, because it's different even how you engage. Like if you make a Twitter video, we were doing Twitter videos for a while, you get like, views and comments. I think that sometimes, and this is also from my experience, sometimes companies, they need a sort of platform that has text because they want to make an announcement. So you can still, do a videos for every feature you release on TikTok. That's great, but sometimes, maybe even like especially talking about tech, maybe you want to share a changelog, you want to say what happened to do next. It might be harder, especially if the company is shipping features quick, for example, like daily.dev is. So having some text that you just copy paste from the changelog will be easier. So I think that my take is that I think nowadays a tech company still needs at least one or two text-based platforms. I think that they can decide to go all in on Mastodon, Blue Sky. The problem is that a company should not be focused just on growing followers like a person should do, but should be more focused on the conversion and getting views on the platform. It's different from a teenager who is just trying to get views on TikTok. It's cool. We all agree that having 1 million followers is better than not having them, but for a company, it's more important to say things and announce stuff. Okay, and there are different strategies. There are companies who make full meme or half meme or a mix. There are different strategies. I think that all companies should have at least one or two strong text based platforms. And I think that being active, this is my take, of course, being active on Twitter is still, the easiest solution. Because maybe for a company, I don't know, now you see, okay, we can go Blue Sky, but you don't know if this will still be there. Do the company has the budget to support this activity that might end up in something that they don't like? Maybe they will take 6 months to get 500 followers on Blue Sky and some traction. It takes more energy. On Twitter is easier, let's say in quotes. So maybe the companies already have, so it's easier because they already have it. So they might be focused on something else. What I will do is that probably I would go with the mainstream solution, like Twitter, and then I will probably focus more on creating videos. So I still think that Twitter is the easiest solution. Is that the best one? I don't know, but it's the most useful way to have a place to share text-based stuff. And now fight me.
Yeah, before we move forward, I was going to ask you, in case you have any addition to that for the audience. Or do you have any tips that would encourage or would help anyone in the audience to also make the most out of Twitter as they share their text-based resources, maybe?
So it was for me, Adewale?
Yes.
So
yes.
Tips for companies on Twitter. Okay, wait, let me prepare. Okay, no, I'm joking. I think that, okay, I will say something super easy. The best solution to engage with developers is probably sharing the code and stuff. So open source, sharing the GitHub repositories, sharing a pieces of code. So pieces of code on Twitter. This usually works. That's the one sentence thing. So if you are a tech company, you can share some codes. You can share your repositories. So share the code on Twitter. So that's I think it's a good one. I might go for hours, so I will stop here.
Sounds good.
Great. I'm really enjoying this conversation, by the way. I would like to make a question now about how you worked together or against each other. I'm joking, but because as I said, usually we have people just talking about their personal experiences. I want to take advantage of you being working on the same company, understanding maybe how you work together. Maybe if you remember, I don't know, one time that maybe you worked together and it worked, or maybe once that you disagreed. So something that real interactions between DevRel. But I will let you decide. Let's see if you have some memories of doing something together, maybe for a lunch, maybe for a conference. I will let you decide. I want to give you freedom. I want you still to be friends, if you are still friends, of course.
I'm trying to think, Ace. We do disagree. I just can't remember the times.
Yeah.
And we never make it a big deal though. Like one person says, no, I don't think that. And then we just go, all right, whatever.
I think we've been able to disagree in a way that you provide reasons for your point. So it's less an argument like, oh, we have to do it this way. But it's like, oh, I think we should probably do it because of this.
Yeah.
That way, then you can like, oh, okay, I see the point. I didn't think about that. We should probably do it that way as well. So that kind of separates the output. That's probably why it doesn't feel like a disagreement.
Argument.
But
Yeah.
in terms of working together, I think one thing that also comes into play is that we are also kind of like in different time zones. So I'm in Europe, in Amsterdam. Rizèl is in Boston, right? Which is like the East Coast. So you have like a couple of hours in between us. So there are times where that also helps with like the decision that is made, like, oh, this person is available to help with this, or I have to someone else has to help with this. So that has been one way I think that we've been able to like, oh, just also help each other out, even with the different roles, like we say. Because sometimes, like I said, I'm focused on the internal DevRel at the moment. She's focused on like open source DevRel. But once in a while, I'm doing like OSS DevRel stuff. She's also doing internal DevRel stuff. So it's been that kind of seamless. Is it seamless? Can I call it seamless?
Yeah, I think it's seamless. We're a good balance between each other. Like in my head, because even when we worked at a different division, when we were on the same team, we worked in like the TBD division. We were both staff developer advocates, and I feel like you really balanced really well on a lot of like the technical things, and I was like really like helping to balance on like improving our team's like content things.
Right.
And then when we moved into Goose and I was on maternity leave, you really held it down with like putting out like the blog posts and the launches about announcing Goose. And when I came back as tech lead, then you were able to lead the internal DevRel, which I am not good at, or I'm not interested in, I guess. And then I'm like, open source is my thing. So we always balance each other, and we notice when like maybe one person needs help. Like we'll be like, oh, let me like help. Like you always jump in and you're like, oh, let me help Rizèl on this thing. Or I'll jump into like, oh, when you were doing the presentation to the kids that were internally, and your Wi-Fi didn't work. So I was like, okay, let me just jump in and try to do it. So
I think that's also something that Angie points out once in a while. It's not particularly spicy take, but I think based on the way our team was also set up at the time, my strengths are different from Rizèl's strengths, but they also kind of like just complement each other. And I think being comfortable in what each individual brings to the team based on their strengths and being able to maximize that is probably one of the reasons why we've been able to alternate or just work together in that regard. So I guess teams should be able to do that if that's a thing. Be able to find out or be honest with each other or yourself, as a case, we be like, okay, I'm bad at this. I'm terrible at this. Doesn't mean I have to dump it on this person every single time. But it's like, oh, I'm bad at this. I probably need some help. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help. But at the same time, not trying to like, and also have this concept of excellence. Because if you have a concept of excellence, then you also recognize that, oh, this person might actually be better at this than me. And then I can ask for help and vice versa. So I think that is one thing that just kind of stands out. For example, Rizèl is like exceptional when it comes to like being outside and also like engaging with the network, with the people that are there, with the community. And she's doing OSS right now, which is like perfection. For me, I am also like very into just hearing people's problems and just thinking of a solution, like, oh, how can I help you fix this? And that's a lot of things that happen with like internet DevRel. It could be boring situations, it could be boring problems, but just thinking about it makes me excited, and then seeing their joy, like, hey, we got it working. That also makes it fun. So it's just like a balance, because she also does the internal thing at the same time, so while I also do the OSS thing sometimes too. So
yeah. But you do internal way better. I sat in a meeting and I was like, wow, I don't know how to do this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about AI. What do you say?
Yeah,
we're gonna try to flip the switch on something slightly different. So one of the voices that I start hearing, some of the voices that are surfacing now, is that DevRels should actually start thinking about how they advocate for agents and not how they advocate to real human developers, because and I think it has some core logic in the argument that says that the main workflow of developers is going through obviously a fundamental shift where there's an AI assisting in writing the code, and sometimes even a lot more than that, planning a lot of parts of what they're going to build, doing some parts of the architecture, etc. And that AI is being fed by all sorts of like different resources from around the web. When it has a problem, it would go and search for a solution, etc. So in the future, we might see less and less developers going out there to find solutions and answers to a problem that they have. But in fact, we might see more and more AI agents going and doing that on behalf of developers. So perhaps DevRels, as we know them today, would cease to exist and would start advocating for agents. Agents are going to be our target audience rather than real human developers. What do you think about that take?
I slightly disagree, which is probably the first disagreement that we have today. Yeah. And this is why. So I think I gave a talk or a session at one point how to make documentation for agents. So I see where you're coming from in terms of also optimizing content resources for agents. But one thing that also stands out is that regardless of any information that these agents get from wherever, they still have to present it to the human or the user if the user needs to consume it. Which means while you might optimize for the agents, the concept at its core has to be targeting humans that are going to either read it or use it or make decisions based off of it. And the way I picture this is that, for example, today, agents are able to, go outside, find all this information. MCPs are doing their thing, get all the data, but they don't have the full capacity or capability today to make all of the decisions in terms of like contextually, right? Context is king these days. So at the end of the day, the user, the developer, or even the non-developer that might be using these agents still has to see this information in a well-presentable way beyond just the interpretation of the LLM and then make decisions off of that. So whether your documentation is being, scraped or used as a source, it has to be valuable enough for the LLM to say this is what the user is going to most likely interact with, or they'll go somewhere else.
But couldn't it be that, we would have some DevRels that are handling the edge cases where a real human is needed, but there will be like DevRel agents that are communicating directly with AI agents?
DevRel agents. That's the first time I'm hearing those two words together.
What do you think about the concept of DevRel agents? Can it even exist?
This is probably the first time that I heard this term, and I think this might become a thing. So, Nimrod, do copyright this thing right now.
It's recorded. It's recorded.
This is the first time I'm hearing DevRel agents myself, and I don't know if that's going to be a thing, and this is why. It could be, but it's unlikely, and this is why. So now I'm picturing a chart where somebody writes the code, but then I realize that agents can write the code now, and then someone has to explain the code, maybe into a documentation. Then I'm seeing that agents might be able to explain the code into a documentation, and then someone has to feed it back into another agent that's consuming it, which another agents could do. But we'll see. We'll see if DevRel agents actually become a thing. But I think there has to be I'm down with the thumbs down. I think there has to be, at least at this level that we're at, human approval, human reviews. There's still a little bit of hallucination across some of these models. So I don't know if we've got to that level of confidence that you just outsource that development, or this is the spec, this is what is built, this is what is documented, this is what someone else consumes. It's doable. I can picture it actually happening, but what is going to be the accuracy of it would now be the question.
Beyond accuracy for me, the idea of DevRel agent makes me cringe a little bit. Okay, so yes, they can do everything that we can do potentially, right? They can write code, write documentation. I use Goose a lot to write documentation or to even add more features or fix bugs within Goose. But the reason why we even feel like attract is the wrong word, but like why certain DevRel people appeal to us is because of the way their own personality, the way that they explain things. There's a ton of, like, I'll use Francesco as an example. There's probably a ton of like how to do Rust type of documentation or tutorials around. But there's people that tune in and watch Francisco every weekend because they like the way that he goes about it. They like his personality. They like the way he explains it. I like Angie because I like the way that she explains things. Same for me. I've explained stuff that people have heard all the time. How to fix like a merge conflict in Git. You've seen that. But some people are like, I like the way that Rizèl said this to me. It clicked with me. If an LLM does it, they're probably just going to do it in the same, like, yes, accurate way. But it's going to not be done with that human personality, that human touch. So the idea of a DevRel agent makes me just cringe. I don't even remember what's the original question, but that's my thought right there.
I'm just trying to push back. Like, think of a DevRel agent that doesn't interact with humans. It interacts with another agents.
Well, another agent, I don't know. Still, I don't know. I guess. I don't know.
If you want to know more, you should subscribe to the channel so you will know in the future if DevRel agents will just
perfect timing
replace
DevRel agents. Very interesting. Very interesting. But the thing is, DevRel agents can go to conferences. They can't speak to people directly, and I think people also crave that human connection, like Rizèl mentioned.
Yet.
Yeah, because why is a DevRel agent connecting with an AI agent? We're relating with developers, not AI agent. I'm confused. I don't know.
Yeah, DevRel agents definitely sounds like a concept. I don't think I want to anytime soon, but it's definitely a concept.
Mm-hmm. I want to give my takes. So I think my heart, and as you probably heard, I'm also just recently turned 22, so I might be not that young anymore. But let's say that my heart will stay with Rizèl. So screw AI from that point of view. Just so be human. Just let's hug together and take a beer. This is what my heart would say. My brain tends to sort of agree with Nimrod because this is actually a thing. It means that just the fact that Nimrod said this question is because something is happening in his area. So it means that maybe we need to understand how to use AI in the best possible way. I still think that probably in the future we might even go into the Renaissance period, like where humans might even become more important because things are more automated. This is my point of view, but we will see. And we will see. I want to say something which might be a bit unpopular. I think AI might do something in the entertainment thing. For example, I've been seeing people creating on purpose some funny videos which are bad on purpose recently, which are actually funny. There is a format. They are bad and they don't even pretend to be real. Like there are humans like doing weird stuff, but it's a sort of format. So on the entertainment part, I think that a great creator with some creativity might actually create an interesting format in this part. But in terms, yes, maybe going to conferences, maybe it's a bit early to have a DevRel agent, but we will see in the future. We'll see how this video will age. In the meanwhile, you should answer. You can choose interactively with AI the poll, like how much do you want this episode spicy? For now, we just had people who want them either spicy or super spicy. So, and 0 people want this like less spicy. So just choose the spiciness of these episodes in the meanwhile. I'm really enjoying this episode.
I have a quick question. It's a quick like question and answer. Would you rather double your GitHub stars or triple the number of Discord members?
Triple Discord members. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we said the same thing. So yeah, triple Discord members.
You're not supposed to agree, so now one of you should choose the GitHub stars. I will go.
What will both of you choose?
I will. Okay, so I will disagree with both of you. Double GitHub stars because probably you need more GitHub stars for social proof, and then you can still work on the Discord stuff. They're just humans, so they can just just come and speak. So this is my popular take.
Are you a DevRel agent? Are you a DevRel agent right now, Francesco?
You'll never know. But yes, I think it depends also on the initial number, because if I already have 100,000, I have 3 people on Discord, so probably doubling the GitHub start is a better idea. But that's just math, Nimrod.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually two things, because doubling the GitHub stars mean a lot more people actually, double the number of people find your project useful and they're able to start it. But the thing that is there is then you don't have any ongoing connection with them anymore. But with tripling, which is triple is definitely higher than double, but with tripling your Discord members, it's like people most likely start your repo already or your project, and they're also in your Discord because they want to continue to improve and use your project. So that's like a long-term community, a long-term support system, and all the like. So it seems like a no-brainer, like just keeping that connection and being able to consistently work with folks. So yeah, even if you bring it down to triple GitHub stars or double, what's it called, Discord, I probably will still choose Discord.
Me too. Sometimes I just like GitHub, I just star them, but I'm never go back. At least with Discord, I'm going back.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. So I think we are almost at the end of this episode, but I am enjoying it. For the people who are here now in the chat, I think I'm about to drop the spiciest question. So I'm getting ready, and I'm putting my good cop mask off. So you currently work for this company called Block. I think you have this tool which is called Goose, right? So my question is that, like, first of all, I would like you maybe to explain maybe a bit something about Goose, what it can do. My question is, might actually Goose replace you or not? I made it.
Do you want to go, Rizèl?
Interesting. Okay, first of all, Goose is an open source AI agent, right? It's an MCP client. If people don't know what an AI agent is, it's basically software that can do tasks on your behalf. You can, instead of like with ChatGPT where you type it in, it returns text to you, you can essentially say like, create this project for me and put it on Netlify, and like Goose will go ahead and do that. Can it replace me? Maybe, but I think this goes back to the same thing I was saying about like having that human touch. So me and Ace actually use this like experimental project called Goose Perception, and Goose can make PRs on your behalf. Like Goose has opened a PR for me when I didn't even know. I wrote in my notes app that I wanted to, or Goose Perception, the experimental thing. I wrote in my notes app that
Sorry to interrupt. That's the wrong link, Francesco.
Oh. Yes, that is.
I'm sorry. Let me check the right one. Sorry, I was trying to help
in
the background.
I just wanted to get that.
Give me the link. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Tanya is about to
for y'all.
Yeah.
Thank
so you. Can continue, Rizèl.
Yeah. Oh, I tried to post a link. It didn't work. But anyways, Goose Perception, it basically read my notes app and like opened up a PR for me. So yeah, it can do work on my behalf, but it didn't really do it in the way that I wanted. And again, I still think you need that DevRel human touch. If the company wants their DevRel to be very sterile, then yes, it could probably replace me. But if they want a bit of personality, Goose can never have my personality. That's it.
That was not an easy one, I can say. I think we had a comment which was like Rizèl is irreplaceable. And yeah. So.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah. Also, I think just to add to that, like Tanya just mentioned, it's gonna be very difficult if the community cannot reach a human being. Because even sometimes when I'm like speaking on a website or trying to get connected to an agent and I say I'm speaking to an AI, I'm like, get me the real person. Like I need to talk to somebody for real. But right now with the AI agents are getting really good. But even in their description today, what they are called is they are like an assistant. And for there to be an assistant, there has to be somebody to assist. And even when I'm doing my sessions with people and I'm telling them, I am here to teach you or explain to you how to use Goose, I cannot teach you how to do your job as well as you can, but I can show you how this tool can fit in, whether you're a developer or a non-developer, because Goose is actually a general purpose client with the MCPs. You can plug it like literally into anything, whether you want to code or you want to prepare documents or research. Goose is like there for you as an MCP client. So I tell the people, like, I'm going to show you all the amazing things that this thing can do. but it can't do your job as well as you are, or as you are able to. So you have to be there, give the instructions, send it on errand. You have to give it directions, tell it what to go do. What is here to do for you is to assist you. It's like, yeah, exactly, that's a perfect description. It's like when the pilot is flying, someone else is checking. Oh, we have a tail on us. We have something like you can land. It's like your spotter. It can help you move faster. It can help you think quicker. It can help you get things done. But it's not just gonna be on its own and be like, okay, you know what? I'm now a DevRel agent. I need to decide if I want to do this conference or should I do this conference all on its own. It's not gonna be able to do that. I don't think AI is gonna be able to do that anytime soon. But yeah. So no, I'm irreplaceable.
And that's the reason behind Goose's name. Like what I just mentioned in the comment, there's a movie called Top Gun. You got Maverick, that's the main pilot. And then you have Goose, was the character's name. He was the co-pilot. So this is just echoing what Ace said. This is your co-pilot. This is not the person. This is not the thing that replaces you. I'm very against the idea of AI replacing humans at all.
That's really cool, because when I heard Goose first, like what I had in mind is that classic meme that's been running in the internet over the past, I don't know, couple of years, where you see a fake like LinkedIn profile of someone who has been advancing as an engineer in Microsoft, becoming like the lead architect something, and then their like most recent job is becoming a goose farmer. And I'm like, is Goose like striving to replace me to the point where I can become a goose farmer? That was my first connotation.
That is crazy. Well, yeah, to address, I think, is it Margus? Yeah, Margus was talking about how kind of true and kind of not. I think it's very difficult for AI to just completely take over stuff, especially as the current state, anyways. Because what's going to separate the websites then? What's going to separate and let's say we have two different e-commerce companies. Who's going to decide on what features to be built? Who's going to decide on how to connect to customers? These are the features I want to implement this feature versus this feature. This is the strategy we want to take. Those are like a lot of decision points that still require humans to do. And the purpose of AI agents today is that humans will make this decision. Humans will think about this thing with feeling, with gut feelings, with strategy, with just thinking about some of the intangibles that we've not been able to convert to code yet. And they're able to make decisions, even if they might not seem like the logical thing to make, especially when you are thinking about ones and zeros. And AI agents will not, or currently do not have that decision or discretion to be able to make those decisions across companies or products all over the world. So it's going to take us a while for there to be a massive replacement of, now we are switching out all of these people and just AI is taking, or AI agent or whatever the case is doing all of these roles. That's what I think anyways.
Yes, and so first of all, I think that you did great. I think that was one of the spiciest questions. So just to balance this, I would say that I tried Goose in person in Berlin at the We Are Developers Conference. I was just hanging around like all the booths, and Angie literally grabbed it physically and said like, Francesco, try Goose now. So she actually like physically made me try it, and it was also a very pleasant experience. So that's one feedback about the tool. So try it out. We share the link. So that's yeah. So
I was gonna say, if you're down for it, we can have a live stream if you want, and we can actually build something with Goose together. And I'll be your Goose while you're using Goose, just sitting down there. You do what you want to do. If you have any questions, and we can flow through that, or even Rizèl if Rizèl wants to do that. But you can build something with it and then see how it actually can be very useful for you.
Yes, and I think that this is also a great point, for example, that how like the real humans can still be useful, because, for example, like having these demos together, I think it's a very nice experience. Maybe even have some, some fun prompts. So I think we are also trying to slowly adapt in this AI world. And I think, for example, this is a nice use case for a developer advocate, like showcasing the AI tool, maybe with another DevRel that knows less, so you can have some fun and you have some laughs. So we'll plan it, but yes. I really enjoyed this episode, Nimrod. I also dropped we dropped some questions, spicy questions. I think it's because of the beginning. So we started, just word up since the beginning. So I think that's the secret. If you want a more spicy episode, we should go spicy from since the beginning. I think this is actually, the first episode when we didn't ask what is DevRel. I think we can live with that.
Yeah.
And so I think we answered it enough times, but if we go again, we might do it. So really happy with this episode. I would like maybe to let both of the speakers, which I'm a huge fan of both of them, to share some final thoughts. This is probably the last time they were gonna talk to me, so I'm gonna use this, to have this last talk together. Yes. So yes, some final thoughts on this, especially in this era when maybe some developers are scared about AI. So let's end up maybe with some thoughts about that if you want, and then I think we can call the day. Would like to go first?
I can go very quickly. First off, thank you for having us on this live stream, Francesco and Nimrod. And I hope to see you all at Commit Your Code conference. This was very fun. And then for developers who are feeling like, oh my God, I'm scared of AI, I really think that change is scary, right? It can be hard to embrace change sometimes, but it is happening, not like whether you like it or not, but it's happening. And it's important to kind of embrace change and see how you can use it to help you. Like, you don't want to be the person that like they switch from horse and buggy to cars and you're like just complaining about it or just afraid of it. Instead, you can take control and learn how to drive a car or use AI and figure out how it can help you best. So it's not replacing you, but instead it's enhancing your productivity. That's what I've been doing. And it's been really helpful.
Yeah, that's brilliantly put. I'm actually thinking of making a video about this. I might as well do a preamble here. And I think for most people that I speak to, even right before the AI got to this point, is trying to specify or trying to clarify to people what makes you a software developer. A lot of people think it's about just writing the code, learning the syntax and the languages. And we've got to a point where AI makes that like almost relevant. Like I'm building a side project. I'm vibe coding a project in Flutter. I have never written a line of Flutter by myself before. And I'm building an entire project in Flutter. So my point there is that at the end of the day, from before it has always been the case, but now more than ever, the most important thing is your problem-solving skills and being able to align those to business goals. So you're able to understand business goals. You're able to look at problems and actually solve them. Because what we're at today is like, yes, I'm a software engineer. I don't have to write all of the code, but I understand how coding works. I understand how business solution works. Now, based on my problem-solving skills, I can have conversations with these AI tools. I can brainstorm with it and be like, okay, this suggestion you're giving me is total dog crap or whatever. Let's go this other route because I know it. I don't have to sit down and spend 2 hours to write what the AI can write in 5 minutes, but I'm still going through my thought process and still guiding the AI tool to move faster, to create stuff, to think about more things that I can't imagine if I wanted to build a Flutter app by myself. I first have to think about, I need to go to documentation. I need to first understand how this is going to be set up. That's like 4 hours on a good day, just going to setting up before I build my thing. But now it's just about, hey, Goose, I want to build a Flutter app. What's up? And 5 minutes later, I have a Flutter app. And the core principles of software engineering still exist there. I know how the app should work. I know how I want the flow to go, even if I'm not going to be in the code to manually write every single part of it. So at the end of the day, these things are still tools. Our mind, our understanding of the software architecture should still exist. Oh, I just saw Rizèl's comment. We are the architect, exactly. Our mind of the architecture should still be there. And then we can guide these tools to actually build what we want to build, also to the quality that we want it to build. People talk, I'm just going off and off. People talk a lot about how AI can give you bloated code, but by the time, if you're very experienced or you know what is happening for a start, you can tell it what feature you want to build. You see what it has, be like, oh, I've done this multiple times. Oh, this has duplicated code here. Why do you have this function twice? Why can you make this? And then because of your knowledge and your understanding, you can have the AI actually clean up the bloated code in codes to match the quality that you would have written by yourself before you then push and go on. And more often than not, you do that in way less time than if you were writing it by yourself one after the other. So it saves time. It gives you room to think and actually focus on solving problems. And this is just the beginning. So excited to see the future things. Sorry, I just went off on a tangent. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, I really loved the fact that Ace, while doing this live stream, she got new ideas for videos. This is like the DevRel mindset. His brain is still working. So he's here in the live stream, but he's already taking notes about upcoming videos, and I love this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great thing. I think we had a very nice conversation. I'm sure we will get some nice short videos out of it, because yes, we create short videos out of these episodes. So stay tuned, because you might like some of them. I'm sure you will like some of them.
Yeah, I'll repost them.
For sure. I would like maybe Nimrod to give a last take about this episode and some final thoughts. And then I think we can wrap up for this August episode, and then we will see you in September. So, Nimrod.
All right. So first of all, I think GitHub stars is not a vanity metric. Just kidding. I want to thank both the speakers. I think it was really an amazing episode. I learned a lot. And thank you for being open and sharing your hot takes. Definitely some of them were spicier than what I'd expect. So great job right there. And I do agree. I mean, the world is changing. I believe for the better. We're still in the point where things are unclear as to how AI is going to be used. So enjoy the ride. This is all I can say.
100%.
Yes, I think that we will never know if we think so. We'll go clear. If you want to know more, of course, you should subscribe to the Daily Dev YouTube channel and also give us a star. So we are getting close to a nice milestone. I will not tell which one is, but if you go check the Daily Dev GitHub account, we are getting there. Thank you. I really enjoyed this conversation, especially because you are from the same company. So that was, a nice mistake, let's say something not intentional, but I really enjoyed this one. So I might actually take this as a format for some of the next episodes. So interesting format for all of you. Rizèl, looking forward for meeting again at Commit Your Code in September, in a month, I think it is, sort of. And yes, so thank you so much for coming here. My very last take is, first of all, thank you so much for joining, and drop your questions. I love that. Answer the poll if you want a more spicy or less spicy, but we think we already have a winner here. It's more than 50% that want this even more spicy, so people will never get enough spiciness. This whole series is offered by you for free by Daily Dev, so I think the least you can do is to try the platform. We have a browser extension, Android app. We can be on Daily Dev in many different ways. So give it a try. We have a DevRel squad. We have many things that can really help you in your process in being a better developer. I'm biased, but that's what I think is the truth. So you can try Daily Dev. We can see you there. There are sometimes some very good conversations about AI, which I think that they have a higher value, for example, compared to random Twitter comments. They are more valuable, they are more on point. So you can try Daily Dev, so we can be happy and we can keep going with all the supporting all these series and all the other activities. As you also, Org Dev is here. You're a bit late, but I'll count this as a first one. So yep, thank you so much for coming. And see you in the next episode. I don't know if we can top the spiciness of this episode, but at least we will try. But thanks, Rizèl and Ace, for being so transparent and also funny. We had a very nice time. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye.